The morning sun filtered through the thin curtains of Elena's seaside villa, casting golden light over the room. She woke to the sound of waves crashing gently against the shore, a melody she had grown to love over the years. Stretching her arms above her head, she rose from bed and walked barefoot to the balcony, her silk robe flowing behind her. The scent of salt and jasmine filled the air as she gazed out at the endless expanse of ocean, its turquoise waves shimmering under the brightening sky. Elena had always felt at home by the sea. There was something magical about the way the ocean ebbed and flowed, carrying secrets of far-off places. But lately, a new magic had found its way into her life: Adrian. His arrival was as unexpected as a summer storm, and just as consuming. That morning, as she sipped her coffee on the balcony, she thought of him. Adrian had been renting a villa nearby while working on a photography project. They had met a few weeks ago when Elena's dog, Luna, had decided to chase after him during one of their walks on the beach. Adrian had returned Luna, his dark eyes sparkling with mischief, and from that moment, something unspoken passed between them. By noon, Elena found herself strolling along the beach with Luna at her side. The warm sand sifted between her toes, and the sun kissed her skin. She spotted Adrian further ahead, camera in hand, capturing the beauty of the shoreline. He looked up and smiled as she approached. "Catching any good shots?" she asked, shielding her eyes from the sun. "A few," he replied, his voice rich and warm. "But nothing compares to this view." His gaze lingered on her, making her cheeks flush. "You're quite the charmer," she said, laughing softly. "And you're quite the distraction," he teased. "Care to join me? I could use some company while I pretend to work." They spent the afternoon walking and talking, their laughter blending with the sound of the waves. Adrian shared stories of his travels, his passion for capturing the world through his lens, and the joy he found in fleeting moments of beauty. Elena opened up about her life by the sea, her love for painting, and the solace she found in the quiet rhythm of her days. They were two souls from different worlds, yet somehow they fit together perfectly. As the day wore on, the sun began its descent, casting a golden glow over the beach. Adrian set his camera aside and turned to Elena. "I have an idea," he said, a playful glint in his eye. "Let's watch the sunset from your balcony. I hear it's the best view in town." Elena hesitated for a moment, then smiled. "All right, but only if you promise not to make fun of my coffee obsession. I'll need another cup to keep up with you." "Deal," he said, grinning. Back at the villa, Elena prepared coffee while Adrian admired her collection of paintings. The walls were adorned with her interpretations of the sea, vivid blues and greens blending seamlessly, capturing the movement and mystery of the water. "These are incredible," Adrian said, his voice filled with genuine admiration. "You have a way of making the ocean feel alive." Elena blushed, setting the coffee cups on the table. "It's my muse," she admitted. "Much like your photography, I suppose. We both chase beauty in our own way." They stepped out onto the balcony, where the sky was already ablaze with colors. The sun hovered just above the horizon, painting the world in shades of orange, pink, and violet. They stood side by side, their shoulders brushing, as they sipped their coffee in comfortable silence. When the sun dipped lower, Adrian turned to Elena. "You always disappear during sunset," he said softly. "It's the best part of the day," she replied, smiling at him. "The best part of my day is you," he said, his voice barely above a whisper. Elena's breath caught. Adrian reached out, tucking a strand of hair behind her ear, his fingers lingering on her cheek. Their eyes locked, and for a moment, the world seemed to stand still. Slowly, he leaned in, his lips brushing against hers in a kiss so tender it made her heart ache. Her hands found their way to his shoulders, pulling him closer. The kiss deepened, their connection growing stronger with every passing second. Adrian's arms wrapped around her waist, anchoring her to him as the rest of the world faded away. "Stay with me," Adrian whispered against her lips. "Just for tonight." Elena nodded, her heart pounding. He scooped her up effortlessly, carrying her inside. The villa was dimly lit, the soft glow of candles casting flickering shadows on the walls. He set her down gently, their lips never breaking contact. They moved together as if in a dream, their bodies speaking a language of their own. Every touch, every kiss was a promise, a declaration of the love they had found in each other. The sound of the waves outside mingled with their whispered words, creating a symphony of intimacy. Afterward, they lay tangled in the sheets, their breathing slow and steady. Adrian traced lazy patterns on Elena's bare shoulder, a contented smile on his lips. "Stay with me forever," he said. His voice filled with emotion. Elena turned to face him, her eyes shining with tears of joy. "Always." And in that moment, with the stars above and their hearts beating as one, they knew their love was infinite. A few weeks later, Adrian stood by the door of the villa, his suitcase by his side. His photography assignment required him to travel to a bustling city halfway across the country. Though his career had always taken him to new places, this time, leaving felt different. It felt harder. Elena stood close, her arms wrapped around herself as if shielding her heart from the inevitable distance. "How long will you be gone?" she asked, her voice quiet. "A month, maybe less," Adrian replied, though the words felt heavy on his tongue. He reached out, taking her hand in his. "I'll call every day. I promise." "You better," Elena said, forcing a smile. But her eyes betrayed the longing she already felt. Adrian cupped her face, his thumb brushing away a stray tear. "We'll make it through this," he whispered. "Our love is stronger than a little distance." They shared a lingering kiss before Adrian finally stepped out the door. As the taxi drove him away, Elena stood on the balcony, watching until he disappeared from view. The villa felt emptier without him, the sound of the waves somehow quieter. The days passed slowly. Elena poured herself into her art, using the vibrant hues of her paints to express the emotions swirling within her. She painted sunsets that seemed to hold Adrian's warmth, waves that carried whispers of his voice, and skies that stretched endlessly, much like her love for him. Adrian, too, felt the weight of their separation. His days were filled with meetings, photo shoots, and cityscapes, but his nights belonged to Elena. They spoke for hours, their conversations filled with laughter, shared dreams, and promises of their reunion. Adrian would often send her pictures of his work. A bustling marketplace, a serene park at dawn, a skyscraper lit up against the night sky. And in return, Elena would send him images of her paintings, each one a love letter in color. One evening as they talked, Adrian's voice softened. "Elena, do you know what keeps me going?" "What?" she asked, her heart aching with the distance. "The thought of coming back to you. To your smile, your touch, your love. You're my home, Elena." Tears filled her eyes, but she smiled. "And you're mine." Weeks turned into days, and finally, Adrian's assignment came to an end. As the taxi pulled up to Elena's villa, he stepped out, his heart racing with anticipation. He found her on the balcony, her back to him, painting yet another masterpiece. The sound of his footsteps made her pause, and she turned, her eyes widening in surprise and joy. "Adrian!" she exclaimed, dropping her brush and rushing into his arms. He held her tightly, breathing in the scent of salt and jasmine that he had missed so much. "I'm home," he whispered. "Welcome home," she replied, her voice trembling with emotion. That evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon and the sky exploded in hues of orange and violet, they sat on the balcony, their hands intertwined. The waves crashed against the shore, carrying with them the promise of endless tomorrows. Together they watched the sunset, knowing that their love was as vast and unyielding as the sea. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed the story, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. It really helps the channel grow. Also, I'd love to hear your thoughts, so leave a comment below and share your favorite part of the story. And hey, if you haven't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a new story or relationship advice video. Lastly, share this video with your friends and loved ones. It might just brighten their day too. Thanks again for your support, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care and stay in love.